San Miguel is one of Mexico's most beautiful cities, and for better or worse, is completely one of a kind. We just spent 2 months here, and there were so many things that we got totally wrong. So in this video, we're sharing the 29 things we wish we knew before visiting, all so you can have the perfect trip here. We'll start with what it feels like to be here, because one of the biggest mistakes first-time visitors make, ourselves included, is misunderstanding San Miguel's vibe.
Yeah, so the first thing that we wish we knew before coming here was that this city offers an elevated experience.
I could get used to this.
So this city's essence is more upscale. It's known for things like art, design, fine dining, cultural events, rooftop cocktails. There is certainly an element of poshness to San Miguel, so don't make the mistake of coming here and expecting things like backpacker or rough around the edges vibes. And another mistake that we made was not understanding that there is a tale of two cities, weekday versus weekend San Miguel.
Exactly. San Miguel is very popular with local tourists, and we didn't know that, and we were kind of shocked to see. So during the week, it's super peaceful, it's very quiet, like there's not much to do, some places are even closed. And then during the weekends, like the city fills up, there's traffic, it's loud, there's parties on the street, there's a lot happening. So our advice is that you plan for the San Miguel that you want to experience. Which brings us to the third thing we wish we knew, is that despite its poshness, San Miguel is loud.
The city recognizes and celebrates a ton of religious holidays, and the way that Mexicans typically like to celebrate these things are with fireworks and firecrackers known locally as bombas, which are bombs, and they echo through the entire city. Also, locals who come here in the weekends, they often do like to party, many of them do, and we've been living in Mexico for 2 years now, and we know that a lot of these parties, they can go on until the early hours of the morning. And that's not all. The last thing that makes San Miguel a little bit loud is that inside the historic center, there are cobblestone streets and a lot of hills. So you'll have like old rickety trucks just bouncing around on those cobblestone streets. And also a favorite mode of transportation here to get up those steep hills are dirt bikes and ATVs. So yes, San Miguel can be loud. So don't let noisy nights ruin your trip here. Definitely read hotel reviews carefully. Now this one is a little bit more controversial, and that is the misconception that San Miguel is not the real Mexico. If you show up here expecting cheap Mexico or a totally no English scene, you're probably going to be a little bit frustrated during your first few days here, considering how foreigner friendly this city is. However, if you come here expecting a little bit more posh, upscale, international environment, then that will let you hit your groove here a lot faster. And about the misconception that this isn't the real Mexico, with all the parties, fireworks, local events and celebrations, there's no way that this isn't the real Mexico.
Yeah.
It is just a different version of Mexico that's maybe a little bit more upscale and therefore gets misconstrued as Americanized. Yeah. And now another mistake that we see a lot of first-time visitors make is writing this off as a 48-hour city.
Even we didn't know how much the city had to offer before coming here, but between the historic downtown, live events, exploring the vineyards, and so much more, we think the city deserves at least 4 nights. That is especially true considering this next point. Let's move into what we wish we knew about logistics, because some of these things really surprised us.
When you're planning your trip here, don't make the mistake of thinking that San Miguel has an airport. So the closest airports are actually León and Querétaro, both of which are about 1.5 hours away of the city center. And if you combine the fact that there are not many direct flights from the US to either of these airports, you should expect a pretty long travel day to get here to San Miguel. All the more reason to stay here for more than 48 hours. Thankfully, we didn't make this next mistake. We got it right on the first try, but don't put yourself in a position that you have to negotiate with taxi drivers at either León or Querétaro airports.
No one wants to do that.
There is an airport pickup service from León called Bajío Go. We use it. They have private cars and also shared shuttles that drop you off directly in front of your accommodation, and we 100% recommend them.
Yeah. Another quick tip here, because you're already probably going to have a long travel day, consider adding a second destination to your San Miguel trip. For us, we really like Guanajuato, and you can also do Mexico City, which is like 3.5 hours away, and you're very likely to find a flight back home from there. And when moving around to different cities or exploring San Miguel, don't make the mistake of being stuck without cell phone data. We've used this video sponsor, Olaflight, for years. They're literally the only eSIM company that we trust to keep us connected, whether that's here in Mexico or on the other side of the world. Olafly allows you to access the internet without expensive roaming fees, and best of all, they have eSIM plans to meet your exact needs. Like unlimited data plans in over 200 destinations around the world, and they also offer monthly global data plans to keep you connected anywhere. And with their always-on feature, Olafly helps keep you connected with 1 gigabyte of backup data per month at no extra cost. So you're always covered if your plans change or if you arrive somewhere without an eSIM. Basically, whatever kind of plan you need, Olafly has you covered without any hidden costs. So if having the peace of mind of always being connected to the internet when you travel sounds good to you, head to the link in the description or the first pinned comment and make sure to sign up to Olafly. And please don't forget to use our code Waste of the World. It gives you 5% off or 10% off your monthly Olafly plan. Thanks to Olafly for supporting our channel and you in advance for using our code. Now, back to what we wish we knew before coming to San Miguel.
Even though that we mentioned that this city can be a little bit loud and even rambunctious, we do think that Zona Centro is the best place to base yourself during your vacation. It's the only place where you're going to have all San Miguel's charm and just be able to step outside of your hotel and be in the middle of everything. And also, don't let some of this noise and liveliness make you make the mistake of thinking that San Miguel is anything but safe. We've always felt perfectly comfortable and safe walking around the city through the different neighborhoods, even at night. As with any destination in the world, certain common sense, don't do anything stupid rules, they do apply here, but this is not like a high stress, high anxiety destination.
Not at all.
In fact, the biggest danger here in San Miguel are actually the cobblestones.
Yeah, so San Miguel's old cobblestone streets definitely give the city its character, but they are slippery. So the sidewalks are very narrow, and there are sidewalks, but they are very narrow. So you're gonna find yourself at some point walking on the cobblestones, and they are slippery, so you cannot wear thin sandals because your ankles are gonna hit you. The tough part though is that San Miguel is a very fashionable and stylish city. So when you're packing, you really have to think about combining function and style. More on that later. Another mistake we made was forgetting that San Miguel can be steep.
Before coming here, we lived in Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, which is completely flat. But when we came here, we were reminded that Mexico's highlands, they are a different ballgame. So if you are keen to explore around San Miguel or even hike up to El Mirador, which we definitely recommend that you do, you definitely want to prepare for some steep hills. And if steep cobblestone streets sound like a nightmare situation for you, this next tip will be very important. Just keep in mind that Uber here is also a great option. So Ubers are abundant here. It never takes too long for one of them to show up and take you where you need to go. So if you're tired of walking around the city, up the hills and over the cobblestones, then definitely take an Uber to take you across town or even to go on a day trip. So don't make the mistake of coming here and thinking that you don't have transportation options. And another important mistake that we made when we came here to San Miguel was not realizing that it gets hot and cold.
All in one day. San Miguel is known for its spring-like temperatures, which are glorious, but the sun can really cook you, especially in the months of April and May, which is right now. It gets really hot. But then you add to that the city sits at over 6,000 feet of elevation. So as the sun goes down, evenings get cold. And I'm talking about a difference of 30 degrees Fahrenheit from early in the morning to the hottest part of the day, which is kind of crazy. So because of that, packing for San Miguel can be challenging, especially if you're trying to travel with carry-on. So you have to think about layers, you have to think about the right shoes because of the cobblestones. And on top of that, people here really are stylish. So you do have to choose your outfits carefully. But do not worry, I put together a free packing list that you can get in the description below. I took into consideration the weather that we're in right now, but I also added extra pieces that you should consider if you're visiting during a different time of the year. And I also have the outfits for you. So check it out in the description, it's completely free. And no worries, you're gonna be able to pack a carry-on for San Miguel, no problem.
Next up, let's move into what we wish we knew about San Miguel's food scene, and we're going to start with a very important tip, and that is don't overlook contemporary Mexican food. So we're not exactly sure if contemporary or modern Mexican restaurants really fly under the radar here, but either way, don't skip more of these kind of creative and even a little bit upscale restaurants. They are really some of the best here in San Miguel. And San Miguel is also a foodie city, so it's a great place to try some of these things. Some of our favorites include Coyote Fuego Mezcaleria, Gavia 115, and Ba'ani Terrazza. And some of these places, they're definitely a little bit more upscale and potentially a little bit expensive, but it doesn't have to be that way. So the next thing that you have to know when you come here to San Miguel is that there's also affordable options, and it's some of the best ways to try real traditional Mexican food. So definitely an underrated aspect of the food scene here are just those mom and pop local family owned restaurants that just serve like one or two or three dishes and just like have mastered them.
Yeah.
Depending on how adventurous you are, we definitely recommend going to some of these places. We've lived in Mexico for a while, so we always feel comfortable at these places and we don't really have any issues ever, but these are all highly rated and we can vouch for them and we recommend them. So some of our favorites include Carnitas Bautista, Las Gordibuenas, Barbacoa Familia Rodriguez, and Mama Mela.
Another thing for first timers to know before coming to San Miguel is that the rooftop scene is premium. There are countless rooftop spots that are amazing, and you can enjoy the most beautiful sunsets and have amazing drinks. And it doesn't have to be alcohol, it's just your drink of choice. It's just to enjoy the gorgeous views. Some of our favorite spots are Tunki, La Luna, and Beque. But be careful, because a mistake we made when we first got here was forgetting that altitude is an alcohol multiplier. Remember that San Miguel sits at about 6,000 feet of elevation, so you can really feel it like the first couple days. And if you add on top of that you drink one margarita, can feel like two.
Easily.
So hydrate more than you think you need and take it easy the first couple days. Otherwise, you're gonna wake up with a headache that you were not asking for. And that also ties into the next tip. Don't overlook San Miguel's music scene.
So if you're into nightlife and live music, you definitely won't be disappointed here in San Miguel. You can find all sorts of live music, things like blues, Latin music, country, rock, anything you want, you can find it most nights of the week. So a local favorite is Rain Dog, and by local, I mean more like foreign residents. It comes highly recommended, so definitely check out Rain Dog if you're into the live music scene. And keep an eye on San Miguel's events calendar. So there's always something happening in front of the parroquia, specifically on weekends like Friday, Saturday. So check it out.
Yeah, check it out. We'll put a link here so you can check it out.
Now, to make sure that you have a smooth trip, let's end this food and drink section with some quick hitting tips. First off, if you're going somewhere nice, definitely make reservations.
Also, tipping in Mexico is very common. So we have noticed, and we have noticed this from Mexicans, okay, that people tip from 15 to 20%. We recommend like 10% for like a smaller place and 15 to 20 if you go somewhere nice and you had a good service.
Also, no early dinners. So Mexicans, they don't eat particularly early, especially compared to Americans. So they usually go to dinner at like 8 p.m. So not necessarily the extremes that you'll see in Spain, but definitely later than a lot of Americans. So if you like to dine with more of an ambiance and people around you, then definitely plan to have your dinners around at least at the earliest 8 o'clock.
Yeah. Now let's cover the things to do in San Miguel, because we did make a lot of mistakes here, starting with thinking there were a lot of things to do.
So after spending about 2 months here, our essential tip for visitors is that downtown is about slowing down. You can technically see a lot of the main sites in Zona Centro in a day or two, but that's really the wrong approach. The attraction here in San Miguel, it really is just soaking it all in and just like enjoying life. So unhurried lunches, just wandering in and out of galleries and boutique shops.
Sit on a park bench with a coffee.
Exactly. Just
so make sure
take
to
it
like
easy.
do nothing like as a thing to do here.
That said, it would be a mistake to miss some of San Miguel's other attractions. We definitely almost did. We literally had no clue that San Miguel has amazing vineyards.
As a heads up, Mexico has great wine. In some regions might be more popular for it, like the Baja region, but this area is growing in that sense. So there's a lot of really beautiful vineyards outside the city, like 25 to 30 minutes outside. And we went to one called Viñedo San Lucas, and we had an amazing time. We were on a Saturday afternoon, great lunch, like live music. It was so beautiful. It literally felt like we were in Italy. Another surprise thing to do, and something that we actually almost missed, were the hot springs.
One thing we definitely didn't know before coming here is that there is thermal activity happening underground here, and because of that, there are hot springs. So there are some great places to enjoy the warm, therapeutic waters. The most famous is La Gruta, We spent the morning there and it was just so peaceful and relaxing. I think if you're looking for a more upscale and kind of like spa-like environment, check out La Nirvana Hotel.
And also, if you go to La Gruta and you do want to have the relaxed experience, go on a weekday and go early in the morning because on the weekends it's going to be very busy.
And this next tip is for art lovers. Fábrica La Aurora is a must visit. So this is an old textile mill that got converted into a art and design hub or center, and it is really, really awesome. You can get lost in there for hours, and there's different galleries from local artists. Oftentimes they're there making art or showing you around their galleries, and it's really, really special. If you're able to be here on the first Saturday of the month, they have something called the Art Walk, and that's when virtually the whole town, or that's what it feels like, of San Miguel goes there to enjoy, check out the art. There's live music, wine, and it's just a really great ambiance. And like I alluded to a little bit before, don't forget to keep your eye on San Miguel's event calendar. There are some really amazing things happening downtown in the city. You don't want to miss that. And besides for the events hosted by the city, there's also a ton of just like local celebrations and traditions that hopefully your trip aligns with. You won't always be notified of this by like an events calendar, so also just ask around to locals, and if you hear a lot of fireworks, try and figure out what's happening. Yeah, so there's a lot of cool stuff, and you might have to go to a different neighborhood, but it's definitely worth checking out to see what's happening.
Yeah, hopefully you can see the mojigangas. That was really fun. We were lucky enough to see it, and they were just like dancing and twirling, and just it was a really fun thing to see. And this might be the most essential San Miguel tip. Jardín Allende is San Miguel. This park is so lively and fun to be in. It's right in front of the parroquia, so it's always busy with locals like going on about their days, but you can also, there's a restaurant in the corner where they always have like mariachi. There's also mariachi in the park and people hire them, so it is a really incredible setting to be in front of the church with the beautiful sunset light, like painting the church like even more pink, and then you have mariachi, like everyone's there taking their pictures. There's the mojigangas there. It really feels like San Miguel.
And now at number 29, our final verdict on San Miguel. If we can leave you with one thing that we wish we knew about San Miguel, it's that this isn't really a city that you do, it's a city that you just experience. So if you take the time to just like go out, enjoy, live the good life, it'll be so easy for you to fall in love with San Miguel the same way that we did.
Yeah, and if you want like a list of things to do, we made a separate video that you can watch right here. Is about the top 10 things to do in San Miguel. And if you're a girl, woman, lady, and you need help packing for San Miguel, remember to grab the packing list that's linked in the description. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Gracias.
Bye.